Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Druk's Milan Unboxing. Please hit the subscribe button at the bottom of your screen. Also, you can go and check out my blog, www.couchpotatofightguru.blogspot.com. And I'm also a South African correspondent for Ring Magazine. You can see me in the Bible of Boxing as well. Right, so now on Saturday we have a big rematch for the WBC World Heavyweight Championship at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And we are talking about the guy that I think is the most dangerous puncher in boxing. Of course, a bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder. If you look at that record, 41-0-1, that draw against Tyson Fury, and 41 wins, but 40 of them coming via knockout. Bar Fury has knocked out every man he has faced. And if you think about it, against Tyson Fury, that last knockdown was such a heavy knockdown. If referee Jack Reese waved it over, it might have been a knockout as well. You know, nobody, I think, would have complained that much. People forget that. So, a very, very dangerous puncher, and he is up against another dangerous puncher, 31-1 with 26 knockouts, the Cuban Luis King Kong Ortiz. Now, when they met in 2018, it started off kind of slow. Ortiz perhaps frustrating and outboxing Wilder a little bit. When Wilder nailed him in the fifth, Ortiz went down. Not a very heavy knockdown. He was up on his feet, carried on. And in the seventh, Ortiz nailed Wilder from his southpaw stance with a beautiful counter lead right hook. And for the rest of that round, Wilder was basically on Queer Street. He was badly hurt, and he was tottering at the edge of a stoppage until the bell eventually saved him. Next round, the doctor actually gave him a little break, checking him out while time was in. But gradually he came through the fog, got back into it, and in the 10th, he finally knocked out Luis Ortiz. So he went through a big gut check there. Now the story is with the rematch that Ortiz is dialed in for this. He's motivated, he's training very, very hard, and he's looking good, lost a lot of weight. Physically, he looks for stuff. Is this going to be his time? At age 40, he's probably not going to get another chance. If he wins, he'll become the second oldest man to win the World Heavyweight title after George Foreman. Can he win? Now, the editor of Ring Magazine, Doug Fisher, he is calling an upset. He says Ortiz is dialed in. We can see another upset, Andy Ruiz style. Can we? Yes, we certainly can. If Ortiz has more gas in the tank, because after he couldn't get Wilder out of there, you know, he started deflating quite fast. If he has more gas in the tank, can keep after Wilder more, there's a chance he can get him out. But the trouble with Wilder is he looks vulnerable, he looks beatable, but he's got that one punch equalizer, a big eraser, like Teddy Atlas calls it. So, and he's got this horrible technique sometimes, but the punch comes from a funny angle. It's hard to know where the punch is going to come from because he throws such unorthodox punches. So that is the trouble. Ortiz can be at the edge of a stoppage, and then Wilder can just nail him and it will be all over. We know Wilder can nail Ortiz and hurt him. We know Ortiz can hurt Wilder. I think a lot of the people are thinking that this is going to be a blowout, like the rematch that Deontay Wilder had with Berman Stavern. The first fight where he won the title from Stavern, he actually boxed beautifully. His technique was much tighter, and we haven't quite seen that Wilder back again. I don't know why. And in the rematch, he just blew Stavern away, but I don't make too much out of it. Stavern looked woefully out of shape, like he's never bothered to train. Now, other people think his last fight he just pole-axed Dominic Brazil, and some people think he's going to do the same against Ortiz. I think they look too much at the age. Ortiz does have nice movements of his shoulders. He blocks, he parries, and a guy like Brazil just stands straight up with his head up. Ortiz keeps his head down. He's just a more complete, better schooled fighter than Brazil, so there is no comparison. Now, what should Ortiz do? I think he needs to set the pace, start a bit quicker than last time, and he needs to keep the fight at close to mid-range. He shouldn't be at the end of Wilder's long arms. That's where he's going to get hurt. So he should keep it there in the mid-range, get his shots off, and punch in combination. Apparently that's what he's been working on. And if he does that, maybe he can get Wilder out of here this time. For Wilder, keep the fight at long range, keep the jab going. He struggles a bit stylistically with southpaws. He was completely outboxed by Tyson Fury, bar for the 2 knockdowns that saved him the draw. But Ortiz isn't Fury. He's not on his toes. He's much more flat-footed. He's not as awkward, bar the southpaw stance. So I think Wilder, he knows he can hurt him. He must just keep himself out of trouble, keep his technique tighter once again, and keep Ortiz at the end of his punches and eventually knock him out. Don't make him get brave. And Ortiz, for 40 years of him, will come into play if you make him fight at a high pace. These 40-year-old fighters like Klitschko, Hopkins, Foreman, and the like, they need to be able to control the pace. If you make them fight at a fast pace that they're uncomfortable with, they are eventually going to gas out. So if I was Wilder, I'll keep the pace fast, make Ortiz move around the ring a lot, make Ortiz follow him around the ring, keep the pace fast, force Ortiz into a pace that he's uncomfortable with, and if he hits him enough, a knockout will come. His big thing is not to get knocked out himself, so he needs to keep it a little bit tighter. Now, who's going to win? Do I agree with Doug Fisher? I've been going over this way and that way in my mind. I think Ortiz is a very live underdog here, but as he presses Wilder, if he punches in combination and do all of that, if he doesn't get Wilder out. Now, Wilder hasn't got the greatest chin, but he does have a lot of heart. And what impressed me in the previous Ortiz fight is when he was hurt, he was able to hold. He had the savvy to hold on to let the fog clear. And I suspect the more aggressive Ortiz is going to get, and the more he's going to throw punches and bunches, he'll put Wilder under pressure, and I think he's going to hurt Wilder again. I think we'll have a dramatic fight, but I think at some point Wilder is just going to clock Ortiz with that 1 liter quitter, like Doug says, and he's going to send him down, and then he's going to be on him, and he's going to get him out of here. So for me, I think Ortiz is a live underdog. If you're a betting man, go take a chance on Luis Ortiz. He is in shape, but if in the end you can be in as good a shape as you want to, even Fury, who's very tricky and fleet of foot, got caught by Wilder, and I think Ortiz, who is much flatter on his feet, if he doesn't get Wilder out of there, he's going to run into something coming back from Wilder, and I think that is going to be the end of it, and that's Wilder's youth will be served. So I think Deontay Wilder wins this one on another hard-fought fight, somewhere around 8 rounds or so. I think he's going to have wobbly moments just like the previous fight, but I think he is going to find that big shot to get Ortiz out of there. So I would say Wilder is going to knock out Ortiz in 8 rounds. Could go the other way as well, but I'm looking forward to a very good fight Saturday night from Las Vegas. So until we see each other again, keep those hands up.